Hello and welcome to the National Flag Raising and Citizenship Ceremony here on the shores of beautiful Lake Burley-Griffin in our nation's capital, Canberra. I'm Stephanie Brantz and it's a great pleasure to be here with you today. What a fitting way to begin the celebrations on our National Day as we raise our flag and welcome new citizens to the Australian community. We begin now with the Federation Guard led by the Royal Australian Navy Band taking up their position on parade.
Indeed they are. Thank you so much, Stephanie Brantz. Hello, Australia. I'm Adam Spencer, joined here in Canberra on this magnificent Australia Day by Tim Soutphommasane, one of Australia's leading political philosophers, board member of the National Australia Day Council, and since we last spoke on this day last year, has been appointed Race Discrimination Commissioner. Happy Australia Day, Tim, and congratulations on your appointment.
Thanks very much, Adam, and a happy Australia Day to you and to our viewers today.
It's always a pleasure to ask you on January the 26th. What does Australia Day mean to you, Tim?
Well, it's a day of celebration and reflection for me. A day for us to celebrate the great qualities of our country, but also to reflect on how we can make Australia a better place.
And the people assembled here on the shores of Lake Burley-Griffin are part of 6 million Australians taking part in events around Australia Day, some big, some small. If you're at a celebration of any size and if you're on the Twitter, if you like a tweet and you hashtag your tweet Australia Day, the National Museum today are curating a live digital exhibition, then storing all those tweets and photos and images of the day in time immemorial as sort of Twitter time capsule. Are you on Twitter yourself, Tim?
I am, as are you, I believe, Adam.
Indeed, I've been tweeting away madly this morning. Of course, later we'll be welcoming 24 new Australians as they take their citizenship pledge, and across the country they'll be joined by thousands of others. January the 26th, the most popular day to take citizenship. We're watching the Federation Guard here, Tim, and the Navy Band under the command of Major Andre Lamal arriving with the Australian flag. There's something significant about the order in which they're marching, isn't there?
That's right. The order reflects the seniority of the branches of the armed forces. So the Navy is the oldest branch. That's why it's marching first, followed by the Army, and followed by the baby of the ADF, the Air Force.
Once they arrive at the point, they will then turn and reverse back so that they are in correct ceremonial order as the audience looks out across Lake Burley. Something of interest that I never knew about the Torres Strait Islander flag. People would have seen it before. The image in the middle, you've got green panels, a central blue panel representing the sea, black lines representing the Torres Strait Islander people. The white insignia at the centre of the flag is a white dari, a dancer's headdress, a symbol for all Torres Strait Islanders.
Please be seated. May I start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Ngunnawal people. We pay respect to their living culture and we thank them for their ongoing contribution to the life of this region. I'd also like to welcome all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are enjoying and sharing this ceremony with us today. For more than 200 years, this day has been known as Foundation Day, Anniversary Day, and now, of course, Australia Day. And it's the day when we take time to appreciate the privileges and the responsibilities we share as we take pride in being, or indeed becoming, Australian citizens. Today we also recognise another significant milestone in the history of our nation as we celebrate the 65th anniversary of Australian citizenship. Australian citizenship symbolises our unity as a nation. It represents a commitment to Australia and its people, the values we share, and our common future. Australia's citizenship is a shared identity. It's a common bond that unites all Australians while respecting our identity. With us today to help celebrate will be the Prime Minister and the Governor-General. They will both be arriving shortly. Also with us, the 2014 Australian of the Year, Adam Goodes. Along with Young Australian of the Year, Jacqueline Freeney. Senior Australian of the Year, Fred Chaney AO. And Australia's local hero, Tim Canolan. Welcome to you all. Also in attendance is the Chief of the Defence Force, General David Hurley, and his fellow service chiefs, along with ACT Australia Day Ambassador and World Champion cyclist Carolyn Buchanan. Please give a warm welcome. Indeed. And give a warm welcome also to the Chair of the National Australia Day Council, Mr Adam Gilchrist, and the Chief Executive of the Council, Mr Jeremy Lassick, who will greet the Prime Minister and the Governor-General. Now can I ask you to please stand for the arrival of the Prime Minister and Mrs Abbott. The Prime Minister will be received on parade with a general salute.
Yes, the Prime Minister now arriving back from Switzerland yesterday morning, where he spoke at the Davos Economic Forum. As Stephanie mentioned, he's about to receive, to the strains of Waltzing Matilda, the General Salute. What is the General Salute, Tim?
Well, the salute's a symbol of greeting, a sign of loyalty and respect. Interestingly, a lot of debate about how the salute originated. It comes from medieval times, and it's believed to be either the result of men-at-arms showing that their right hand, the fighting hand, was not concealed, not using a weapon. Another theory is that when...
Order!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Tony Abbott, and Mrs Margaret Abbott. Please now remain standing for the arrival of the Governor-General.
Well received, hasn't it?
Indeed, and our first female Governor-General. Last year, the Governor-General delivered the Boyer Lectures called Back to Grassroots, and I couldn't think of a more appropriately titled lecture series because she's certainly been very popular at the grassroots across the nation.
Yeah, we very much look forward to hearing from Her Excellency later this morning. Here she is, officially arriving on the shores of Lake Burley Griffin.
Hey, we always have a lovely day for this, don't we? Yeah. Thank you.
Her Excellency, the Honourable Quentin Bryce, will now be received with the Vice-Regal salute.
Australia's Federation Guard, Royal Salute, present.
Please be seated as the Guard Commander, Major Andre Lamal, invites the Governor-General to inspect Australia's Federation Guard and the Royal Australian Navy Band.
As the Governor-General inspects the Federation Guard and the Navy Band, Tim, it's a fascinating organisation, the Australian Federation Guard. It's not the first time she's inspected them, but maybe you could explain to the people watching at home exactly who are the Guard.
A fairly new history to the Federation Guard. Established in 2000, it's the permanent ceremonial unit.
That always surprises me. 2000 surprises me. You would have assumed it might have been around a bit longer.
That's right, that's right. But the Guard's composed of volunteers from the Navy, Army and Air Force. But among them, you have tank drivers, chefs, marine technicians, air defence operators. About 150 men and women are posted to the Guard every year.
They provide official services and greetings both in Australia and around the world on special occasions, on annual occasions and at one-off events.
Lots of visits by foreign dignitaries. The Guard's always there. Last year we had visits from His Majesty the Sultan of Brunei and the presidents of Myanmar and Mozambique, among others.
Some people have been in this Guard for a couple of years. Some are making their official debut today. And, of course, it has a significant role in marking national days of significance. Australia Day, Anzac Day, Remembrance Day. In Australia, in Anzac Cove, Villers-Bretonneux, Meningate in Belgium, and the like. And some of the people in this Guard may well be part of the centenary of the First World War and the centenary of Gallipoli next year as well. Within the Guard, there's that smaller precision drill team who people might have seen performing at various events around the country, sporting events, events of public commemoration and the like. And I'll note when the Governor-General inspects the Navy Band, last year, of course, was the centenary of Navy. People will remember that fleet spectacular on Sydney Harbour. It's also the centenary of the Navy Band. It was the 4th of October 1913 that the first fleet under the banner of the Royal Australian Navy sailed into Sydney Harbour, and on board there were a group of musicians recruited from Australia and Britain at the time, and they performed under the title of the Royal Australian Navy Band, so it too celebrated its centenary on the 4th of October last year.
May I present Lieutenant Stenke, the Band Officer of the Royal Australian Navy Band, and I will now take my leave.
Thank you.
Have a great Australia.
And congratulations on a splendid game.
Yes, we do too for you. It's been fabulous having you. You've been a fantastic figurehead for everybody.
Thank you.
Very kind words there from Lieutenant Stephen Stanky, the officer commanding the Royal Australian Navy Band, and noting it is the last time the Governor-General will be in this capacity at this event.
Thank you for your marvellous service to our country. Our military bands make an extraordinary contribution to community life as well as to the ODF.
It's a great job.
At their best this morning. Much love, Navy Band. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Enjoy your work.
Thank you.
Just want us to get this back. Just They look amazing, right?
Don't they?
What a beautiful insight into some of the things that are actually said during the inspection of a Guard.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand to welcome the Governor-General of Australia and also, of course, welcome to His Excellency Mr Michael Bryce. Please be seated. Well, to officially welcome us this morning, I'm delighted to invite to the stage the Chair of the National Australia Day Council, Mr Adam Gilchrist.
Thank you, Stephanie. Your Excellency, Prime Minister, Australians of the Year, honoured guests, new citizens, ladies and gentlemen. What a great pleasure it is to be here this morning to begin Australia Day in a way that so many Australian communities celebrate by raising the flag and welcoming new citizens. For tens of thousands of years indeed, people have chosen Australia as their home, and I would like to thank Aunty Agnes for being here and also acknowledge the land of the Ngunnawal people where we meet today. I'm also honoured to officially welcome 24 new Australian citizens here today who have also chosen to join our Australian community. It's a great thrill being involved in any citizenship ceremony, and I know for all of you it'll be a day you will never forget. As someone who has travelled around the world, I understand the privilege that it is to live in Australia. To say that I'm an Australian is something I always say with great pride. We have a lifestyle that is second to none. We know how to work hard. I think we all know how to celebrate well. We even know how to play sport pretty well. We must continue to be respectful of our past whilst also embracing our development and our diversity. I look forward with the new citizens in sharing the qualities that you will bring to our nation to enrich our society, your talents, your skills, and none the least, your commitment. There is so much to celebrate about our nation, and I hope that between the barbecues and the fireworks, that all Australians are taking the opportunity today to share their stories and celebrate in their own unique way, in their own respectful way, what is great about living in this land of ours. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our partners in this morning's celebrations, those very, very important partners. The Australian Defence Force, and what an amazing guard has turned up today. The Department of Immigration and Border Protection, they are key partners to us, put to you. But to everyone, whether watching in the broadcast or here today or right around the nation, have a wonderful, happy Australia Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam. Well, it's now time to look over the waters of Lake Burley Griffin towards the magnificent Canadian flagpole in Commonwealth Park. The flagpole was a gift from the Canadian government in 1955, a 40-metre single green spar of Douglas fir. Well, just getting this magnificent flagpole from British Columbia to Canberra was an absolute engineering marvel. It would be 2 years before the Australian flag would be flying proudly every day. Every day, that is, except, of course, on July the 1st, which is Canada Day, when, as you would expect, the Canadian flag flies on the flagpole. As we stand now to look across to Regatta Point, the national anthem will be played, after which I invite you to take your seats.
Shot, hey, turn! Shot! Guard! Shoulder! Australia's Federation Guard! Present! Guard! Order!
Now that, of course, was the full version of the national anthem, not the abridged first two and last two verses that accompany the salutes. And we saw there what's always a spectacular highlight of the flag raising ceremony, the 3 Hawk 127s coming past for the aerial salute. Now the 21-gun salute being provided by M2A2 howitzers on the shore of Lake Burley Griffin. I love you explaining this to me every year, Tim. Why 21 guns?
Well, 21 guns because in the 17th century, when foreign ships would enter a port as a sign of goodwill, they would discharge all of their guns. And at that time, ships usually had 7 guns. But on land, gun batteries can fire guns 3 times faster than you can on ships. So as a reciprocal gesture, you would fire off 21 guns.
3 times 7. Mathematics in action. I note when you see those Hawk 127s flying through, amazing aircraft, a part of the ceremony each year. I've not flown in a Hawk 127. I did fly in the roulettes, the flying spectacular stunt planes a few years ago. I know the sort of G-forces the pilots are going through in those Hawk 127s. Oh, You really do feel it in the compression suit, I can assure you, Tim, as they fly back down Lake Burley Griffin now.
You're a braver man than me, Adam.
These jets have flown from the RAAF base at Williamstown. ...450 kilometres to be here this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you aren't already still standing, please be upstanding now as the Federation Guard and the Royal Australian Navy Band formally farewell the Governor-General before they leave the parade ground.
Guard! Shoulder! Ready! Australia's Federation Guard! Royal salute! Present! Guard! Shoulder! Guard! Order!
As you take your seats, ladies and gentlemen, please thank Australia's Federation Guard and the Royal Australian Navy Band.
We did see, Tim, a spectacular shot also
Shoulder!
of the bird life not far from the howitzers. They certainly
Order!
noticed the salute this morning.
Happy Australia Day to our fauna.
Form 3 ranks! Form 3 ranks! Guard! Inward!
The Australian of the Year, Adam Goodes, when he thinks of drills, thinks of handballs and kicking footies 50 metres, but I'm sure him and...
the centre! Guard! By the left! Quick!
Many of the people here today impressed by the precision being displayed by the Federation Guard. Tim, as the Guard leaves, there are some citizenship ceremonies taking place in Australia today where there's a single person receiving citizenship. Some have many in total, something like 17,000 new Australians welcome today. And I presume in your role as Race Discrimination Commissioner, you've met Australians from all manner of backgrounds and people now choosing to call this country home.
Indeed, and we're a multicultural country. Almost half of our population was either born...
To welcome us to country, Auntie Agnes.
Well, good morning, everyone, and what a beautiful morning. I'm very proud and honoured to be invited back here again to help celebrate Australia Day. And it's great to be here today in this wonderful place on this magnificent occasion. And it is an honour to commemorate Australia Day with the Prime Minister, Mr. Abbott, Mrs. Abbott, the Governor-General, Ms. Quinton Bryce and Mr. Michael Bryce, and all the dignitaries who are sitting here in the front row. And don't they look splendid? And it gives me great pride and honour to, from myself and all the Ngunnawal elders and our families, to congratulate Adam Goods on receiving the Australian of the Year 2014. And Adam, from a Ngunnawal elder, an Aborigine elder, you do us proud. Thank you. And welcome to everyone. Canberra is Ngunnawal country, and our people have been privileged to be custodians of this land for over 30,000 years. And I take great delight in welcoming you to our country, allowing you safe passage across our lands. In doing so, we are acknowledging our people and paying respects to our ancestors. This is a difficult country with a harsh climate. To live and prosper here, we need to have a close relationship with the land and the environment. We need a spirit of cooperation and understanding. We need to be one with each other. And today, we welcome the great nation's newest citizens. As you pledge your loyalty to Australia, you come from diverse backgrounds. Be a blessing to you and your families as you uphold the responsibilities of Australian citizenship with pride. And I forgot to invite and say welcome to all of our non-Indigenous friends and our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island friends. Welcome to each and every one of you and all of our beautiful children. So once again, I would like to leave you with a traditional greeting in the language of the Ngunnawal people. Nagana, Yarabai, Yangu, which means you're welcome to leave your footprints on our land now, or in other words, welcome to Ngunnawal country. Please enjoy the day and happy Australia to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie Agnes, and thank you also to Matthew Doyle. Well, to help us celebrate citizenship, we've got an amazing singer-songwriter joining us today. He came to Australia from Israel in 1986, and we're so pleased he did. Please give a big Australia Day welcome to Lior, who will perform Days to Remember.
Floats on by till the sunlight finds its way to our fragile bodies. These are the days I would like to remember. Now and again I get brought down, holding myself up to someone I will never become. Yes, some things, they never go away. I grow tired of searching for a lantern to light the way. But what I've learned in the great unknown, that the world outside is only but a mirror to your heart. And in this moment of feeling free, ooh, there's a place for me. So when I look down to the streets below at all the splashes of color through my cloudy window, I'll whisper this tune to set me a reminder. For these are the days I would like to remember. These are the days I would like to remember. Oh, these are the days I would like to remember. Na 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 na.
Thank you, Lior. That was truly amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Lior. Citizenships are held all around the country today, and the 65th anniversary of Australian citizenship represents a significant milestone for Australians. It was on this day in 1949 that new Australian citizenship legislation was introduced, creating a unique national identity for Australians. Today, thousands of people will make a pledge of commitment that means they can officially call Australia home. Here in our nation's capital, 24 people will today be taking on the rights and responsibilities of becoming Australian citizens. Charged with the responsibility of officiating at this ceremony, would you please join me in welcoming to the stage
the Chair of the National Australia Day Council and Auntie Agnes and other Indigenous elders. Today, across our country, we celebrate one of the greatest gifts imaginable, to be Australian. While Australia Day formally marks the anniversary of the arrival of the First Fleet, today celebrates something richer and deeper. We celebrate the nation and the people. We are fulfilling the aspiration in the opening words of our Constitution that we, the people, have agreed to unite in one indissoluble federal commonwealth. 23 million of us have found unity in our diversity, respect in our differences, and have built a modern nation on the idea that all of us can get ahead, provided we are prepared to have a go. So this Australia Day, we welcome the thousands of new citizens who have chosen to join our team. It's a fitting day to celebrate new citizens, as it was on the 26th of January 1788 that Australia's first modern migrants arrived. Today, as Stephanie has already mentioned, is a significant milestone, as it's the 65th anniversary of the Australian Citizenship Act. Since that time, more than 4.5 million people from all around the globe have chosen our country as their home. I'm proud to say that one of those families was my own. On the 7th of September 1960, along with my father, mother and sister, I left Tilbury in England for Australia. My parents had great hope in Australia. My wife had great hope in Australia when she came here from New Zealand in 1983. Australia has not disappointed them. My hope is that it won't disappoint anyone. And my duty as your Prime Minister is to ensure that as far as possible in this great land of ours, no one is left behind. To the men and women taking the citizenship pledge here today, and to the almost 18,000 taking the pledge around us, special day. Son? Okay, you might have taken them away from me, Stephanie. Give me my papers back. Thank you. Okay, now it's my the words under God to stand. And if you wish to make the pledge on a holy book, please hold it in your hand now, and please repeat after me, line by line, this pledge. From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Congratulations, new citizens. Please be seated. So I now call on those candidates who've indicated they wish to make pledge number 2 also to stand and repeat after me, line by line, this pledge. From this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose democratic beliefs I share,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
whose rights and liberties I respect,
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
and whose laws I will uphold and obey.
Thank you and congratulations, new Australians.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Congratulations to you on your first citizenship ceremony. Very well done. And as a reward, I'd like to ask you to please stay on stage to present our new citizens with their citizenship certificates. And joining us also, please welcome the Secretary of the Department of Immigration and Border Protection, Martin Bowles. And to present gifts to commemorate this occasion, Adam Gilchrist and ACT Australia Day Ambassador Carolyn Buchanan. Now, new citizens, as I read your name, would you please come forward, receive your certificate and pause for a photograph with the Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, please welcome from New Zealand, Katie McCarthy.
34-year-old Katie left New Zealand at the age of 5. Said she can't wait once she's an Australian citizen to vote for the first time. She's a childcare worker currently raising her 2 sons.
From the colds of Scotland to the warmth of Australia, welcome Jennifer Nutter from Scotland.
Jennifer comes from Edinburgh and moved to Australia 5 years ago. She's currently completing a Masters in International Law at the Australian National University.
She works for the Murray-Darling Basin Authority. Welcome, Jennifer.
From the United Kingdom, a warm welcome to Anthony Davies.
30-year-old defence worker Anthony Davies left Britain 6 years ago, just after Australia had completed a 5-0 Ashes whitewash, and becomes an Australian citizen today. Just after Australia has completed a 5-0 Ashes whitewash. Some great symmetry there.
From Canada, please welcome the McCullough family, Heather, John and their son Sean.
They've been resident in Australia for a decade. They plan to only come for a couple of years and then move back to Canada, but fell in love with Australia while John was on secondment with the Australian government. Sean there in the middle, 17 years old.
A big warm Australia Day welcome to Claudio Mastronardi from Argentina and his son Claudio Matias Mastronardi from the USA.
A great story with Claudio Sr., who is a research fellow at the John Curtin School of Medical Research at the ANU. Claudio contracted rheumatoid fever as a child, and his treatment for that required penicillin.
With a great Australian connection, of course.
Howard Florey, the first director.
Claudio and Claudio Matias, welcome and congratulations on your citizenship. You came from 2 different countries. Why did you choose Australia?
We love this country, we love the spirit of cooperation and the mateship environment, and we would like to leave our footprints here.
That's wonderful news indeed. Perhaps more importantly, in June, July this year, there'll be a World Cup. Australia or Argentina?
I will pull for both countries.
I think you've got a fair chance of doing exactly that. Congratulations to both of you and welcome.
Very diplomatically said by Claudio Mastri, Senior.
Please welcome from Tanzania, Kenya, the UAE and the USA, the Mbamba family, Abdullah Saleh, Sada, their sons Nawaf, Nofal and daughter Noah.
A family truly from around the world. Abdullah and his family have travelled widely. They've lived and worked in the United States, Europe and the Far East before arriving in Australia 7 years ago, working in Australia on behalf of the United Nations here in Canberra. Abdullah is a director of the United Nations Information Centre, and his wife and 3 children, the 5 of them, take Australian citizenship today.
A warm welcome to your whole family. Please, Abdullah, you're closest to me. You have the United Nations in your family alone.
Absolutely.
Why did you choose Australia?
Well, we come from a United Nations background, so I mean, it's not unusual to do that. But let me just repeat what the Prime Minister said, that the Australian citizenship is the greatest gift ever imaginable. And for us, this is a tremendous opportunity for us. We are privileged to be here, and we enjoy the Australian diversity and the multicultural environment that you have in this country. And we're very proud to be associated and to become part of that cultural diversity. Thank you.
And we are extremely proud to have you here. As Australian citizens, how will you celebrate?
Well, we have a great dinner tonight and a great luncheon by some of our great Australian friends, and we're looking forward to all of the 2 occasions. Thank you.
A lot of food. Enjoy. Congratulations and welcome to all of you. And now would you please welcome from the USA, Cherie Post.
Cherie has lived in Australia for 32 years, being married to an Aussie for the last 30. When she was in America, she was once...
And now joining us as Australian citizens from the Philippines, please welcome the Dayola family, Sheila, Amador and their children, Sierra and Shariz.
The Dayola family arrived in Australia in 2009. Shariz will be in Year 8 this year, and Sierra will be in Year 6.
I met them this morning, Shariz and Sia, very excited and just gorgeously, infectiously happy on this special day.
Congratulations and welcome to the Dayola family. Sheila, tell me, I read that when you first came to Australia, you very much missed your friends and your family back home. What made it easier for you? Why did you choose to stay?
Mates indeed in Australia.
And how will you be celebrating today?
The Aussie way, barbecue backyard.
Sounds perfect. You two look absolutely gorgeous. Sia, do tell me, what do you like? Do you play any sport?
Oh, yes. Recently I joined basketball. So.
Excellent. Basketballer, we'll see you in the Australian Boomers before long. And Shariz, what do you like the best about Australia?
The beautiful places to go to and the variety of people surrounding us.
You've added to its beauty. Thank you indeed to your whole family and welcome.
Originally from the Philippines and now Australian citizens, the Dayola family.
And now from France, please welcome Ludivine Legal.
I met Ludivine this morning, Tim. She'd spent the Christmas period in France before flying back yesterday morning for the rehearsal for this. Half an hour after landing, she was on stage rehearsing, so she's probably as jet-lagged as the Prime Minister right now.
Ludivine, sorry, let's just step back this way. Now, you collected toy koalas and kangaroos from when you were a very young girl. Was it always your intention to settle in Australia?
Yes, I've always wanted to come to Australia. Not many kangaroos and koala toys in France, but if there was one, I would get it to add to my collections. And I've got many, and now they're just in my backyard.
That sounds perfect. Welcome to Australia. Congratulations on your citizenship.
Thank you very much.
From China, please welcome Yuan Fong.
Yuan Fong came to Australia as a student over 7 years ago to complete her PhD in software engineering.
Congratulations, Yuan Feng. And finally, would you please give our warm Australian welcome to Niels Jagen Toksved from Denmark.
Australia Day is a special day for everyone. Citizenship is special, but today's a very special day for Niels Jagen. I'm sure we'll find out in just a moment why that's the case, but a very special symmetry about today for this man.
Niels, congratulations. And before we go any further, happy birthday.
Thank you, Stephanie. I was hoping for a little song, but maybe that will come later.
With all respect to everyone that's joined us here today, I won't be singing, but I'm sure we can get someone to sing you happy birthday later. A double celebration for you, and on this 65th anniversary of Australian citizenship, which birthday are you celebrating?
I think it must be, I'm embarrassed, is it a 42 something? No, 65, it must have been in my destiny to be here today, and I'm so happy and proud.
Niels, we're delighted for you. You have a wife and 2 children, and do I understand correctly that you're now the only dinky-die Aussie in the family?
Yes, that's actually true, and that's one of the exciting things about my wife today is that she's looking forward to sleeping with an Aussie tonight. So.
Touché, Niels. Enjoy. Happy birthday and have a wonderful day.
Oh, happy birthday. A natural joker there, Niels. You're Toksved.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to you all. Yes, go on. They're going to give him a round of happy birthday. What a wonderful way to celebrate. Congratulations to all our new citizens. Please join me now in thanking the Prime Minister, Martin Bowles, Adam Gilchrist and Caroline Buchanan. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for all of the rest of you who didn't just receive your citizenships, it's your turn. It's traditional at citizenship ceremonies for the rest of us to have an opportunity to affirm our allegiance to Australia. The affirmation is similar to the pledge made by new citizens. It affirms our commitment to Australia and to its people. Participation is voluntary and affirmation ceremonies have no legal effect, but they are an important way that we can share the special event with our new citizens. So to lead us in the Australian citizenship affirmation, I'm delighted to welcome up to the stage the Governor-General, Her Excellency the Honourable Quentin Bryce.
Good morning, my friends. I'd like to begin the affirmation ceremony by wishing all Australians across our country a very happy Australia Day. I always find it exciting to be part of these ceremonies. There's something very, very special about welcoming new members to our community and uniting all Australians under the values we share. I've had the honour of attending many citizenship ceremonies, and I find each one just as moving as the very first I attended. I would like to officially welcome our 24 newest Australian citizens. Congratulations to you all. As Australians, we are fortunate to enjoy a safe, tolerant and peaceful society. Affirming our loyalty to Australia is a way for all citizens, old and new, to articulate our common commitment to our country. This ceremony reminds us to reflect on the privileges we enjoy as Australians. Also, the opportunity to recommit together to making Australia an even better place for the future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to lead you in the Australian citizenship affirmation. Those of you who are not yet Australian citizens are welcome to participate. Just join in at the second line of the affirmation. The words are in your program. Would you please stand? I now invite you all to join me in reciting the affirmation, repeating after me, line by line. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I uphold and obey. friends.
Thank you very much, Governor-General. Now, would you please all remain standing as we join together to sing the National Anthem, accompanied by members of the Royal Australian Navy Band with singer able seaman Ellie Bortolotti.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned over the lands. For those who've come across the sea with boundless bliss to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Well, everyone, that concludes the formalities for this morning. Congratulations to all of you who've become new citizens today. To all of you here on the shores of the beautiful Lake Burley Griffin, and to all of you watching around the nation on the ABC, thank you for joining us. And to each and every one of you, we wish you a very happy Australia Day.
Well, there you have it, the 2014 National Flag Raising and Citizenship Ceremony. From me, Adam Spencer, here on the shores of Lake Burley Griffin. Thanks for joining us. Happy Australia Day, Tim.
Happy Australia Day, everyone.
24 new citizens admitted to Australian citizenship. The stuffed soup on Masan, whether at a small backyard barbecue or at a large public event. Have a great Australia Day, and we'll speak with you soon. Bye-bye.
Good morning. You've been watching the official Australia Day flag raising ceremony live from Canberra. I'm Kumi Taguchi.
And I'm Richard Davies. It's great to have your company. As you can see, events are underway across the country to mark our National Day. On Sydney Harbour, the day began with the Woogalura Indigenous smoking ceremony to symbolise the uniting of different cultures and backgrounds.
A fire was lit on the forecourt of the Opera House and it was transported to Sydney Harbour on bark canoes. Now, a smoking ceremony was then held under the Sydney Harbour Bridge as sports stars Lane Beachley and Greg Inglis raised the Australian and Aboriginal flags.
There were clear skies in Canberra where dignitaries gathered on the shores of Lake Burley Griffin for the National Flag Raising and Citizenship Ceremony. 24 people representing 12 nations were welcomed as new citizens. Well, this morning we've been taking you around the country for coverage of the major events in your capital city. Let's check back in now with our reporters. We have Nick Dole in Sydney and Emily Stewart in Melbourne. Good morning to both of you. Now, Nick, we're going to start with you first. You're out on Sydney Harbour on rather a special boat. Tell us all about it.
Yes, well, this is certainly the place to be if you want to. So quite a lot of people out and about around the harbour. I must say it is starting to warm up finally because we've had some pretty rough weather this morning. Fortunately, it stopped raining and those temperatures have risen. So more and more people making their way out to the harbour to see some of the action that's out here today. And there's plenty more hours of action to come before the final show, the fireworks show from Darling Harbour.
So we were just seeing some of those pictures of the ferry-a-thon, and as you were saying, it looks a little bit overcast, but hopefully it might clear up a little bit later. For those fireworks that you mentioned, they should be pretty spectacular. Sydney knows how to do fireworks.
They sure do, and yeah, we just came on to HMAS Shoals and it was quite heavy, but fortunately those skies have cleared, and so I'm sure more and more people will make their way out to various vantage points, plenty of them on the north and south foreshores of the harbour. And it's not just the ferry-thon, of course. We've got the tall ships race, which is happening very soon. Of course, you just showed us some pictures of that Indigenous ceremony, the smoking ceremony this morning, and flag raising on the harbour bridge. And we've got a tinny muster as well. We've already had a harbour swim, some people braving the very cold conditions. And of course, there's entertainment right along the foreshore. One of the biggest is a concert which is being held on a floating stage over at Blues Point. So plenty of entertainment to keep people going until that final fireworks show tonight.
So Nick, you were saying you're just about to set sail. What's on your agenda for the rest of the afternoon on that ship?
Well, this ship is going to be the centrepiece of Australia Day celebrations here on the harbour. The Governor, Marie Bashir, is going to be helicoptering into this ship very soon. So she'll be coming down just behind me and she'll be wearing her Commodore's uniform as well, which is a tradition for the Governor to do. And she'll then be making her way to the ceremonial deck here on HMAS Jules, and she'll be taking in a 21-gun salute. So a lot of ceremony here. We then hear she's going to do something less ceremonial and actually have lunch with some of the sailors downstairs here in the ship. So a big day for the Governor. Most of it's going to be spent here, and we'll try to bring you those live pictures of the Governor arriving here on HMAS Jules later on today.
Look forward to it. That's Nick Dole on Sydney Harbour.
Let's go to Victoria now, and the Australia Day Parade has just got underway along Swanston Street in Melbourne. The ABC's Emily Stewart is there. Emily, looks like a great day there behind you and great weather.
Yes, Kumi, it's quite good to hear that the weather in Melbourne is much better than in Sydney today. It's beautiful, about 29 degrees. And we've had the official opening with the Premier and flag raising and welcome to country. And now thousands of people have lined the streets along Swanston Street ready for the Australia Day Parade. This year's theme is Let Us Sing, and there's 80 interest groups. They're broad ranging from the Scottish Gaelic Singers to the Doctor Who Club to the Miners Association. So a really broad range of people involved in this parade.
And adding to that too, Emily, we're hearing there's a number of Indigenous events also planned for today.
That's right. There's a big Share the Spirit festival, which is organised by the Koori community here to, I suppose, look at Australian history from an Indigenous point of view. So that's being held in the city at Treasury Gardens, and they're expecting 5,000 people to attend and hear lots of Indigenous music and craft stalls and the like. And Government House is also open today, and we're looking forward to going in and seeing some of the private rooms that aren't usually open to the public.
Of course, Australia Day, a lot of people staying at home having barbecues. Have you heard anything about sort of private events, and obviously Hottest 100 Day as well going on today?
Yes, lots of young people listening to Triple J and lots of parties organised along the river, along the Yarra River, lots of barbecues and, of course, people celebrating at home and in many different ways here in Melbourne and enjoying the beautiful weather.
And looking into